Hello and welcome. In our previous video, we saw how we can add layers to our GIS map, also how to use query to access and process with our data. In this video, we will see how we can create our own dataset and plot them to our map. First, we have to create our dataset. Mine is an Excel file containing the details of Greek ports. The last column is the coordinate of each port. Going back to the site from which we download our data and pressing on coordinates column, we can see the details. This column contains the geographical coordinates, latitude and longitude of the location if there is any. In order to avoid unnecessary use of non-standard characters and space, the following standard representation is used. Lat for latitude, north or south, long for longitude, west or east, only one digit capital letter, where the last two rightmost digits refer to minutes and the first two or three digits refer to the degrees for latitude and longitude respectively. Back to PyChart, we have created a new Python file named ports data frame, in which we convert our coordinates into two new separate columns, latitude and longitude, suitable for ArcGIS. First, we're going to import our libraries, pandas as pd and numpy as np. I'll skip my function for now. I'll continue by creating a variable called file is equal to r quotation mark Greek ports.xl. For those who don't know what R stands for, is for Python to recognize all the elements inside the quotation marks as characters. For example, if I use /t, it is recognized as tab. If I include the R, it is recognized as characters. I'll continue by creating a variable called ports is equal to pd.readExcel, my Excel file. And now my ports is equal to ports.drop not available, drop na, which will drop all the rows containing columns with not available data. I'll continue by creating a variable called coordinate is equal to a numpy array, parentheses, my coordinates column, transformed into a string and split it into two separate elements using space as a separator and convert their values into lists. Let's print our coordinates. Let's comment the rest commands. Run our script. You can see that we have created a 2D array containing our latitude and longitudes. Continue with our script. I'll create two new variables, lat and long, stands for latitude and longitude, which are coordinates, all the rows, first column, and long is coordinates, all the rows, second column. Let's print our lat and long. Comment all the rest commands, run our script. Here is all our latitudes, and the rest are our longitudes. Let's delete this command, also uncomment the rest. Now we have to convert our latitude and longitude values suitable for our GIS map. For this, our latitude is equal to a list for all the i's in the range 0 to our length of latitude. Latitude I is a string and we consider it as a list with each character as a separate element, and we will use from 0 index until the second last one, so we use only the numbers. If latitude I minus 1, the last element, is n, it will be the same, else it will be multiplied by minus 1. The exact same will be done also for longitude. Let's comment the rest commands and print our new latitude and longitude. Run our script. You can see now it is a list containing only the numbers, again as a string. Let's delete this command and comment the rest. Continue with our last formation. Our latitude is equal to a list, converting all the elements to float numbers. For all the i's in the range 0 to length of latitude, we skip the two last elements, which contain the minutes in our string, and we convert them to degrees. We round them using our function decimals into the second decimal. Going back to our function, it uses as inputs a number n, also a second number which contains the decimals. It converts our number into a string and split it into two separate values using the dot as a separator. It adds against the two separate values, but now in the chosen decimal number, and it returns it as a float. Back to the main body, we convert our float to str. We skip the first element, which always be 0, and add it to the first string. The same is also done for our longitude. Now we create two new columns, latitude and longitude, containing the lat and long values. And finally, we export our data frame to a new Excel file named GIS ports. Let's run our script. Let's open our Excel file. We have created our two columns, latitude and longitude. Close our Excel file. Let's go back to our script we created in our second tutorial. I have commented all the commands we used to create our polygon. Now create a new variable called ports is equal to pd.readExcel. I read my new Excel file GIS ports. In my ports variable is equal to pd.dataframe.special. Special module can only be used if you have import GIS library. Dot from xy, we use this special module to create our shape file we saw in our previous video. It uses as inputs a data frame, our data frame ports. X column, we use the long column, which stands for longitude. Y column equal to latitude, and the special reference 4326, which stands for geographic coordinates. We use port.special.plot parentheses map to plot our data on our map. Let's run our script. You can see that we have plotted all the ports on our map. Again, if we press in each of them, we get the details. The same can be done also in Jupyter using the same commands. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.